Oh no, my cookies are still in my mouth as we're live.
Oh,
Hello.
oh dear. Hi, everyone. Hello. Welcome.
Wait,
Oh
keep
God.
going.
Am
Keep
I?
going.
Oh God. Okay. Hi. Welcome to Paint of Heart. The
Your panic. Oh, I'm so sorry.
uh, introducing myself is torture. Welcome to Paint of Heart, the show where we talk about painting models and paint models and talk about other things as well. My name is Colton.
My name is
Hi.
Angela. Hi. Thank you so much,
We're
Colton. Sorry, everybody.
yes.
I was drinking some delightful Earl Grey tea with cookies, and I forgot to not eat one just before the stream started. But hi, I hope everybody's having a good day. We, as Colton said, we're painting some stuff today.
Yes.
And I noticed by the look on my camera that my camera froze.
Oh dear. That's not good.
Let's see. Can we bring it back to life? Quick, somebody sing Evanescence.
I got my fingies crossed.
And then it is... There we are. There we go.
Hey!
So,
woo.
You might notice a thing. It says dry brush. I'm going to be dry brushing a bunch of my models today. I have so many that are just black primed and no detail whatsoever. And I bought some fancy dry brushing brushes.
Nice.
They have goat hair.
Ooh.
I don't know if that's going to help at all, but we'll find out.
I don't know either, but I
excited.
always support goats.
They're soft. And yeah, I mean, obviously you can
Shaved? I
collect
don't know
goat
what
hair
I'm
without injuring the goat, so I don't have a problem with this.
There you go.
I got a hair that was like wispy. I had to trim it from the brush. You can tell it's good when there's strays, not synthetic. So, I hope everybody's doing well today. If you're working on any crafts, please feel free to share them with us. You can also go to our Discord channel, or go to our Discord server, and find us in the Arts and Crafts channel. If you share your pictures, we'll put them up on stream.
It'll be fun. Yeah.
CW Rogers, I feel you. Imagine having to do your intro live. Couldn't be me. Yeah, we do a lot of our live streaming just because we're busy people and editing takes time, and so we'll do it live.
Oh, also hi, Lonnie. Yes.
Ah, is that who CW Rogers is?
No, that's Charles.
Charles. Hello, Charles. Yeah. And we have Hope. Hello. Alright, so working on an emote that's very cute. Gary the snail from SpongeBob playing Rocket League.
Amazing.
So what are you painting, Colton? Tell the good people.
Yeah, so I am painting this little guy here, who is by far the sassiest robot that I've ever seen, which is a super tactical droid from the war game Star Wars Shatterpoint, which was given to me by a longtime fan of the show, Hope. And thank you very, very much, Hope. Yeah, it's fun. I love droids. Shocking no one in particular to hear that. And I'm very excited to be painting them today.
I'm excited to see what you do with them. What are you thinking in terms of coat?
So I am going to be for a lot of the like more mechanical bits, like the joints. I'm going to be using this Miniatar gray, just a base gray. And then for the chassis, I'm going to be using Citadel's Soulstone blue and Citadel's Caliban green, as well as doing some of the detailing in my favorite paint, Gehenna's Gold.
Love it.
Gold.
I love that name.
Me too. Hope, unfortunately, I don't have Grievous nearby, which is something that I'm sad to admit out loud.
That
I
you
mean,
don't have him nearby?
yes, he's always in my heart.
Gotcha. Of
Is
course, of
number one
course.
best Star Wars character, but
Gotcha.
and number one sexiest Star Wars character.
Hey.
But yeah.
So I am working on, as I said, I'm dry brushing my D&D characters, and they are myriad and beautiful. But I'm going to be using my it's a little zoomed in right now, but I'll put it on my main. I'm using my dry brush palette, which I made. Tip to anybody who, like me, hoards little crafting things, little doodads that's like, sure, that's a cool shape, maybe I'll use it someday. You're probably not gonna use it someday. So this is what I did. I took a box, and this was a tarot card box that I bought. I decorated it with my not patented, but the version of how to make bricks that I've been learning how to do, which I need to go grab my dice tray, or my dice tower. I don't think you've ever seen it, Colton.
I don't.
But so I just glued a whole bunch of random doodads, like a little pine cone and some string on thread and some bobbins and some sponges, and this is just a cork board, and I spray painted the whole thing black. And the idea is and you can see it's got gray all over it. It's because I've already used it several times. It was originally all black. And what you do, the idea of a palette for dry brushing, is when you are dry brushing, the general principle is that you want less paint, but you don't necessarily want dry paint. Just your brush should be dry. So when you use paper towels or tissues or some sort of absorbent material, you are taking paint off, but you're also drying what you leave on the brush, which ends up with a chalky consistency of what you're actually dry brushing. So if you use a solid surface or a solid material, like all these little shapes and curves and edges and stuff, you then are taking wet paint off and leaving wet paint on your brush. So you're going to get a cleaner dry brush, theoretically.
Really cool.
There's a bunch of those. Hope, a bunch of the rocks from the bases that I made a couple days last week. These guys. Some of them are in here. Like, I threw them in here. It took a really long time for this thing to dry. So your mileage may vary if you're trying to do this quick. I had to leave this for several days for the glue to dry because I covered it in Mod Podge before I spray painted it. Took a long time. But so what I'm doing today is I'm taking my fancy brushes. I don't know what they're called. They came with a bag. They were that fancy.
Ooh.
Brassange, I think. I don't know. But they're just a set. I bought them on Amazon. They have good reviews. And dry brushing brushes can be very expensive. Hi, mouse. These were not. These were like $12, $15. I have no tea. I have to be very conscientious. When I commit to using my water as paint water, I can't drink out of it anymore. But that's just the kind of mess I am, So I've been doing Colton before I start.
Yes.
Dry brushing. I need you to see what I was hand priming.
Okay. Very
Mouse,
excited.
thank you for the resubscription. So I had several creatures that had plastic bits, right? So I hand primed them and left the plastic bits unpainted. So I've got some Aarakocra. I was doing these last week, some of them last week, and then I finished a few of them. I've got this Asimar with like a swoop of magic that I'm going to color at some point.
Cool.
I got a bunch of little fairies that are mostly clear plastic, so I had a very tiny bit of black I had to prime.
Oh, that's cute.
These little bitty ones. And then I have a whole bunch of little familiars that I primed. So I've got this little almost like Quetzal, like flying snake dragon.
Nice.
And also I got there are some really weird ones. These are from Reaper. Reaper has a series of familiar packs that you can get. So I got a whole bunch of those. So I have 2 pseudo dragons. They're sitting on books, which is very cute. I have a little dryad or like a little elemental. Looks like a naked lady. Like a really cool little ranger fairy that is like, I'm gonna stab you.
Nice.
And this one, which is absolutely impossible to figure out what it is unless you look up people who have already painted it. It is apparently a little doll. Like a little rag doll with button eyes, and it's fucking terrifying. It actually looks like a bunch of roses. I thought it was like a plant golem at first. I gotta figure out. You know what? I think the reason that my camera keeps deactivating is because, like it's on an extension cord.
Oh.
So it keeps unplugging for some reason, or keeps like it's not getting enough power maybe. So I'll have to play around and see if I can get a better situation for it. But what I'm actually doing today is I'm going to be dry brushing because I have a lot of figures that need the detail, and so I'm going to be doing that. What I do with my dry brushing is I have 3 different colors depending on how dramatic I want the shading to be. So I have white, and then I have a light gray, and I have a dark gray. And these are both custom mixes. I just put white and black together until I had a color I liked.
Sure.
But we're gonna try just doing white for now. And I'm just gonna use the front of my palette. You see it's black, and just gently over figure. What? This guy, I want to have a lot of highlights, so he's getting a fairly considerable coverage.
Nice. Having to relearn how to position my hands so that people can actually see what I'm doing.
Oh, yeah. Potentially we can work on one of these after I've done some of the dry brushing, like so you can actually see the full
That would be fun.
call it process. This guy I made the mistake, or we all, happy accidents, but in this case I wanted to redo it. I had primed him in white, thinking, oh well, he's gonna be like a light gray color. I don't want him to be too dark, without really fully like understanding the fact that the slap chop method, you want to use black because you're gonna lose any shadows if you don't.
Definitely.
So okay. Rest of this coverage, and then I'm mostly done with him. But I have a ton of figures to do. Last bit of white right on the front, because I want his little pouch and stuff to pop a little more. Okay. So that's pretty good. He's got a nice bit of coverage on him. He looks very gray right now, but the point of this is not about, oh, he's not dark, or I'm just trying to make him a gray color. The idea is to coat him in the highlights and lowlights so that when I cover him in hyper pigmented paint, then it absorbs all that paint.
Right.
And then it makes all the whites pop and the darks sink to the corners. And it looks like you put way more time and effort into it than you actually did. Now, this is something that, and for anybody who missed it the first time we talked about this, so the idea of slap chop is this like fast, quick, efficient paint style or coverage style that is designed for things like Warhammer figurines, because you want the Warhammer figurines a lot of times, as Colton can attest, you're doing a lot of multiples, and you're making a lot of them. So, you want to make sure that you are. I lost where I was talking, or what I was talking about.
You were talking about slab chopping.
Yeah. So.
Form of like mass production.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
The slap chop method is really helpful when you're making like. I need to make a horde of identical things. It's basically like making it so that you can do an assembly line very quickly on your own without having to feel like you're doing very minute detail for every single figure, because when you're looking at them in the dozens or so, it's okay for them not to be,
perfect.
They're not supposed to be masterworks, but you also do want some level of quality. So it allows you to kind of get the best of both worlds, fast, and it looks good. It looks really good from a distance. So.
Now, I wish I did slap chop for a lot of my things, but I don't, because I'm not a perfectionist, definitely not, but like, I don't know, something about slap chop for me just doesn't.
It's okay. There's styles for everybody.
For the game, and more for just the zen of painting.
Sure.
It's like that one book that I've not read, Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance.
Yeah.
But for me, it's Zen and the art of painting little dolls.
Little military men.
My little dollies.
The art of painting little guys.
Oh, sorry, Hope. I shouldn't have moved my mic right when I spoke.
There you go. You sound good. You're good. Oh, I'm excited about this this knoll I just did.
Ooh,
it looks
that
cool.
Sounds fun.
He's cool. I had a different knoll who has considerably less paint on him, so I might go over him a little bit more to make his armor.
Ooh, that would be fun.
So, Hope had a question.
Oh.
What's the worst D&D lore, character, setting, game, whatever? What's the worst? And then Charles said the ones that made Game of Thrones.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Already hard.
So glad that they didn't get a Star Wars movie. God, what is the worst D&D? Probably Dark Sun, right? Just like
needs
objectively
needs a hefty reassessment.
No,
if someone wants to publish it,
it just needs to go away.
What are your big takeaways from it that you don't like?
Well, it's filled with Gygaxian racism, for one thing.
Cool. Yep. I get it. I get you.
Like the one.
Listen, biological essentialism has no place in my games.
Yeah, same. The one interesting thing Dark Sun is. So, okay, Dark Sun is a plane that is post-apocalypse. It's a setting that's post-apocalypse.
It's fantasy, but so it's kind of like, I always just got the sense that it had like a Conan kind of vibe.
Yeah, it's low tech, even like for magic. It also has like very limited magic, and the interesting, cool thing about Dark Sun, this plane of existence, is that iron is rarer than pretty much every other metal.
Cool. That's interesting.
So it was big in the Planescape setting, because if you needed to make extra money, you would buy
cheap iron
buy
stuff
a bunch
and
of
sell
cheap
it.
iron and go to Dark Sun and sell it.
But then you have to deal with Dark Sun.
Yeah, exactly. And like the sun is like dead or dying, one of the two. I don't really recall at this moment. And you know what? Everyone says it's like, oh, it's the coolest setting ever. And like, for it to have to get published now, you'd probably have to do more work than just creating an entire setting from scratch. So at that point, I'm just like, just throw it in the bin. You don't need Dark
Well, I
Sun.
mean, in defense of taking a system that might be questionable and starting from scratch, or not, maybe not starting from scratch, but fixing things. I have some friends who worked on the new werewolf
Oh yeah.
system, and that's essentially what they were doing. The
Yeah, werewolf had some problems.
right, but then like to get people of not just different ethnicities, but like from what I understand, they did have a number of consultants or writers on the staff that were like First Nations to be like, no, this is what we're gonna do. And not just that, they kind of decided to take werewolf in a direction of like eco-terrorist or eco-warriors.
Ooh,
So
okay.
it's a big like, nature versus industry kind of direction.
Okay. I like that.
Figuring out how to let people like be one with nature without like stealing cultures, like skinwalker myths and things.
Yeah. I need to look at the new werewolf. I have a PDF of it, and other than making sure it got downloaded on my computer, I have not touched the file.
I know the people that work, I know some of the people that consulted on it, and I really get the sense that they worked the team worked really hard to try to make it better. Remove some of the real intense questionable stuff in it. And I know that's World of Darkness, that is not D&D. I have an answer for like at least the Dark Sun seems to be a good starting point for like we don't need that. But the one that I've heard a lot about, or like have heard the most like people needing to make changes to it because of how problematic it gets, for me is Curse of Strahd.
Oh, yep.
And that's the thing. There are cool things in Barovia and the Domains of Dread. Like, I haven't even really like delved into it very much. But what I understand from we've had a number of people on Discover RPG talking about. We literally had a panel that was, "What did you change in in Curse of Strahd to make it better for your games?" And there were just so many answers of just like, listen, they took an entire group of people, took inspiration from the Romani, and then made the entire group evil.
Except for like 3 characters.
Yeah, except for exceptions. Instead of having there be like a spy amongst them, but they're all generally pretty decent, they went the other direction. And so that's a big change that a lot of people I know have approached. We don't have Franz on here right now, but those of you who know Franz, and anybody who was at that little panel, knows that Franz has fucking feelings about a couple of characters from it, to a point where he's willing to tell long talks about how Strahd having a thing for redheads because they look like his like dead lover or whatever. Giving characters agency when they're just props in the original book.
As someone who's in a Curse of Strahd game at this moment, that's run by Franz.
So you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes,
actually,
I do.
I forgot you were in that game.
Yeah, it's
like, listen.
Yeah, he has done brilliant work on it, changing the bits. And like I've never played Curse of Strahd before, so I only know like, and I've never even like read it because I knew I was invited to do a Curse of Strahd game.
Mm-hmm. I only know some of the things by reputation.
Yeah, exactly. Same. I've never like, other than this game, I've never interacted with Curse of Strahd at all.
Yeah. Which is interesting because the Domains of Dread feel like a huge thing you could use. I just have never even touched the concept.
Yeah, I'm in a different Ravenloft game as well. That's in a different Domain of Dread.
Cool.
And that's fun. It's like, it's very Bloodborne-y, very
nice.
Eldritch horror as opposed to like more gothic horror, which Curse of Strahd is.
It feels like it feels like the Domains of Dread are a really good way of doing that. Just being like, all right, what type of horror do we want to do this time?
Yeah,
because it's all dreadful. It's just what kind of dreadful.
the Ravenloft 5e book, Van Richten's Guide, I think it is actually a really good book.
Yeah, I've heard.
Or at least it is, ignoring the Ravenloft section, because I specifically, or not Ravenloft, Barovia section, because I specifically did not read it, because I knew I was going into it.
Well, that's very nice of you to be on the honor system, Colton. Thank you. On behalf of Franz, thank you for doing that, so that he could have a cool game and he could surprise you.
Oh, I mean, the fun thing is literally everyone else in the game has played Curse of Strahd before.
Yeah, so so they get a different experience. They get the what's the difference between how Franz is going to run it versus how they know it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just a different.
But you know, it's still very, very fun.
Colton.
Yes.
I have Dungeons and Doggies.
Oh, cute.
So I'm going to be doing. This is a German Shepherd Ranger.
Ooh.
Get the damn thing.
Also,
done.
bye, Charles.
Hi, Charles.
But no, that's adorable.
Let's see if I can get this to zoom correctly, or rather, focus correctly. There it is. Here he is. What a good boy.
Adorable.
I have a whole bunch of them, so I'll be doing a bunch of those right now. Colton, this is another creature from that weird TTRPG that we had to look up what it was.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like this is the one that looks like the fucking alien from the from Alien Resurrection.
I love it.
He's got such like the fucking like the Cenobite of it all, you know?
Right.
He's got a lot of stuff. Yes. We should poll what to name him. They have canon names, which is fun. This is a Husky Paladin that I'm gonna do.
Cute.
One of them is actually my partner Andy's, like legitimately just his character accidentally. He made it without knowing this existed. And
amazing.
He's essentially a golden retriever wizard.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, GB.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to find out about GB, go find his episodes in the Countless Heroes playlist on YouTube. Andy is very, very good at roleplay, no matter what he thinks.
Also, this is has nothing to do with anything really, but and
do we have plot lines in our show?
Well, no, but you know, it's gonna also make me sound like a complete weirdo. So, everyone, hold on.
Listen,
I'm
never apologize for who you are.
The model for the super tactical droid shortened their cod piece. Cause like
that's a choice.
In the Clone Wars animated television show, Kalani, who's the main super tactical droid, that's a character, his cod piece like goes, it's surprisingly poignant. And I always found it such a fucking hilarious piece of just character design, and I'm sad that they foreshortened it in this in this model.
So, we have to imply that the droid's got a dick.
Exactly.
Well-endowed protocol droid. No, he's a soldier droid, but yeah.
Yeah.
Look at this spaniel bard. He has pipes on his neck. It makes me happy.
Cute.
He has little panpipes. Yes, please go look up Dungeons and Doggies if you haven't, because the artwork is so beautiful for these silly little pups. And I'm only doing the medium sizes right now. I don't even have, there's so many little, like, small ones. But, St. Bernard Cleric. Best idea ever.
I love that song.
It makes me very happy. Look at this. Watch as it just appears out of the mist. Claptrap is so satisfying, too. If you just start, like, revealing the details. Because you kind of lose them when you do the initial priming. And then you get them all back. There's something zen that I enjoy about the slapchop method, that when I'm doing individual pieces and not doing, like, mass pieces, because it really makes me appreciate the details on the sculpt.
Right.
Because I forget what they are after you do that big mass priming. And then you see them. And they're so good.
If I was better at sculpting models,
Yeah.
Hope, I probably would. But I do not have the time or actual care to
God damn it.
make his codpiece show accurate.
I hadn't read they'll just.
But
There we
don't think
go.
I didn't think about it.
Look at this beautiful. Oh, god damn it. You know, and I'm
As I
taking the
paint
time to
his
record
ass.
this episode too, and here is the Saint Bernard.
Oh, little puppy.
Got the little potion on his neck. Which is perfect. There it is. They put so much gear on these pups. They're like kitted out.
I love that.
At some point I'm gonna do my ogre too, but just letting him dry because I touched up his base.
I love the color of this paint, but because it's a technical paint, it doesn't like existing. So I'm gonna have to do another full application of it, which is kind of.
I'm really excited about painting these dogs. They're gonna look really cute.
I can't wait to see it.
And what's nice is I have a bunch of different sizes of dry brushes.
Ooh.
So I can get little, I can get kind of like between legs and stuff and underneath fabric. Yeah. I think this is also a paladin. It's like a Labrador. Who else do I got? Colton, there's a Pomeranian monk.
Aww.
He's got a little pom-pom cut. It's so cute.
I love that.
There's a, let's see, who do I got? We got our little Pomeranian monk. He's super cute.
I've given him blue jeans.
I love it. I love it.
Which
I think
wasn't my intention, but you know, here we are.
beautiful
Choices have been made. But yeah, I don't know why I started painting his legs first.
As much as I think a Chihuahua should be a barbarian,
Hilarious.
this Chihuahua rogue is also very good.
Ooh, yeah, okay.
They're so tiny, they can fit into small places. They put a knife in his mouth, it's so funny.
Cute.
Alright, so him? I'm just going through these speed. A Dachshund Warlock. Or no, a Dachshund
Nice.
Sorcerer, I think. I think he's a sorcerer. He gives me Doctor Strange vibes, so that's what I'm thinking he is. He's one of the few dogs you get to do his belly because he's up on his hind leg.
I love that.
Oh yeah, super tiny. Oh, this is a little French bulldog fighter.
Nice.
It looks like a little witcher. Oh, and he's an earring. He's trying to be such a badass. I apologize, everyone, for not really being able to show off all the details. They're just very tiny. It really just makes me want to run a D&D campaign that I just play regular D&D with regular characters, but then I turn them all into dogs and I reveal these minis.
That would be amazing. I think you should.
Yeah. And then it just turns into an Oliver and Company situation.
I have a
Awesome.
terrible, terrible secret.
You've never seen it?
I've never actually seen it. No.
That's okay. Andy hadn't seen it, and I'd only seen little bits of it. It's pretty fun. Has its moments, has some great songs, because it's all just Billy Joel writing cool pop songs.
Right.
And then the absolutely glorious Bette Midler with a villain song.
Ooh.
So good. She's a poodle.
Of course.
And the song's called Perfect Isn't Easy.
Oh my god.
And she's amazing. It's very much riffing off of her reputation in the 70s as a lounge singer comedian who'd go on tour and stuff. And so it's got kind of a little bit of a burlesque vibe to it.
Okay. I like
But it's got fucking Cheech Marin as a
really?
yeah, as a Chihuahua. And it had it had a pretty good cast. Fucking it wasn't Tina Turner, was it? There's somebody playing one of them. It was I was really impressed. They had a bunch of pop singers, or a bunch of famous singers. I do know Joey Lawrence played Oliver. He was very tiny at the time. Who was in Oliver and Company? Billy Joel, Cheech Marin, Dom DeLuise. I don't recognize any of the... Oh, that's story people. That's why I didn't recognize the voices. Because they weren't voices.
That'll do it.
Oh, that's right. Cheryl Lee Ralph was in it. Cheryl Lee Ralph, if anybody's... She was Moesha's mom in Moesha. But she's been in a ton of stuff. Lots of Broadway. Lots of, Hope. It's Dungeons and Doggies is the name. They made a cat version called, Cats and Catacombs. Which is also a bunch of cat, figures.
They missed their opportunity to do... I mean, it wouldn't be technically, illiterate, but, Catacombs and Kitties.
Sure. Yeah. There's a little corgi. Corgi seems to be the warlock because he seems to have a little skull on him.
Ah.
Still cute. I think that's all the doggies I had on me. Where are the other ones? Oh, they're probably on my shelf somewhere. I have another shelf. This one is not a Dungeon and Doggy, but he is also a magic doggy. This is from a set... at the box somewhere. But it's it's like a magic school set.
Sure.
And their, principal or their professor is a bloodhound.
Oh my god, I love that.
And he has a wizard hat, and he's beautiful. And his mini has him standing at a podium giving a lecture.
That's so cute.
Yeah, it's really good. There's little stars on his wizard hat.
As any good wizard hat should have.
Yeah, it's a beautiful series of sculptures on the minis. And they had a really nice like the bases are really pretty, nice wood texture. Wearing pants too, which amuses me. I don't know why it is. Yes, here is the little bloodhound professor on his bench. Yes, Cheryl Lee Ralph is in Abbott Elementary, which I still have to watch. It's on my list. But I really love Black Lady Sketch Show, so I wanted to watch when the girl who created Abbott Elementary moved on to do that. I really wanted to watch it. Let's see. What else we got? We have a wolf. I have like 3 of these big wolves. They came in a set, so I can do slight variations on them and make them each a slightly different color. Do a black wolf and a gray wolf. I can use them in the same like pack, but as in not mini pack, but as in wolf pack. But if I ever want to use them by themselves, I'll have some options then for color palette. So the one thing I have to be conscientious of with my dry brushes is because they are natural fiber and not synthetic, I can't just leave them in water. I have to be very careful about how I clean them. Anybody else who decides they want to go all fancy, apparently acrylic is, for a lot of people, for acrylic paints, they prefer synthetic brushes because they're just more durable. In this case, I just wanted to get the best dry brush I could. I have a ton of synthetic brushes, and I'm fine with them, and they work great. I don't know. Something about the dry brushing made me want to be careful and a little more detailed with it. I wanted to see if there was actually a marked difference.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and here's I have a little tree ant, or a little tiny plant guy. Oh, so I have a bear rider. God.
One of my very early D&D characters was an animated shrub.
Oh, like he was a shrub.
Yeah.
I love it. I've had lots of awakened shrubs in my games before.
They're the best, and I love them.
How is it to play one? How'd you go about approaching that? What was your process?
I mean, it was... I pretty much got the, bonuses of an animated shrub, which was I could look like an inanimate plant while moving.
Love it.
And I had a weakness to fire.
Fair enough.
And that was it.
Okay.
And, I was just the little guy. I was playing a rogue.
Uh-huh. That's incredible.
So he just had 2 daggers that he would run up and stab people with, and it was very cute. He died horribly in a miscast fireball.
Oh no!
It was the wild sorcerer's
friendly fire.
Well, it wasn't even fire. It was the wild sorcerer's wild magic surge fireball.
Oh jeez.
And I just so happened to be in it, and
oh, that's terrible.
there was nothing left.
Oh no.
Of Jonathan.
Jonathan.
Yeah, Jonathan the Shrub.
Oh, this guy's pretty cool though. So I have a number of bears. I realize now. I have a guy riding a bear. I have Trinket from my Critical Role set, who I'm very excited to one day paint. But he looks beautiful. He's got his armor. And I have... These seem like they're supposed to be brown or black bears. They're smaller.
Sure.
But, like, the difference between Trinket, who I think is supposed to be, like, a grizzly or a brown bear, and the little ones that I have here, is either I'm gonna make them into cubs, or they're gonna be, the smaller bears.
As someone who lives in bear country, it's pretty likely that some bears are just that much bigger than other bears.
Yeah.
Even if they're not cubs, so, like...
Oh, yeah, the difference between a brown bear and a grizzly is intense.
Yeah.
Not that I know that in person, but I just know academically that is the thing. Oh, so I feel like I want to talk about it. So Andy and I went to go see the Mean Girls movie this week.
Oh, yes. How was it?
I enjoyed it a lot. I obviously the movie was very, formative. I really love the musical. Listen to it all the time. And I really enjoyed the movie. The changes that they made, initially, upon hearing about some of the changes they chose to make, it ruffled me the wrong way. Like, some of my favorite of the musical songs got either cut or severely moved, or rather shortened. Sure. But when I saw them in the film, I got it. I understood why they cut certain things. And some of the actual, like, updates they made were really good. They really made it way more queer than it was before. They did a really good job of, well, first of all, everybody talks about this if they talk about the movie, and I heartily agree that, the girl who played Janice, I'm really bad at her name, and I need to learn it, because I feel bad. The girl who played Moana, played Janice, and she was so good. Like, vocally and acting-wise. I watched her recently in a show called Power on Amazon. And she was really good there, playing, like, angsty teenager. So I knew she could pull Janice off pretty easily. And then Regina, Renee Rapp. Renee Rapp is just, like, a really good way of reminding myself that I am not a straight woman.
Sure.
She's crazy talented and, like, crazy pretty, and, like, I don't have words. I don't have words for that part where she looks at the camera and goes, "Get in, loser," under her sunglasses. Like, I can't. My brain stops working. And Andy understands this. He's like, "No, I get it. It's fine." But she was God, she's so good. Like, she has such a powerhouse singing voice. And she was Regina. She was a Regina in the original production. But, like, she's starting out her pop career now, and she's got, like, some real fucking pipes. They made a lot of choices that made it sound more poppy than Broadway, which is kind of what they were going for. You know, you want to sell albums and shit. But yeah, there were also some, like, nods to the original movie. So, okay, some of the movie was, like, wholesale just taken from the original. It was a remake that had a lot of the same jokes. But occasionally they would make a change, and that change would be for the better, in my opinion. Like, I won't spoil anything for you, but, like, Tina Fey and Tim Meadows' characters are really cute. Like, they're fun. They're pretty much identical, but they got some, like, different line reads that were really funny.
Are they reprising the roles?
They're playing the exact same roles they were. They're honestly wearing the exact same costumes that they were in the original.
Oh my God,
they make a lot of meta references to the original movie. So, like, instead of, like, I think they had it in one of the trailers, but, like, when Gretchen says fetch and she goes, "What is fetch?" It's like, oh, it's slang from an old movie. Juno, I think.
Oh my God.
Which was funny. And Karen was so good. The girl who played Karen, I want to say her name is Antavika. She made some choices that were just brilliantly stupid.
I
Like,
always support stupidity.
I had to remind
Asterisk.
well, so chat, you give me your best stupid D&D character moment, like brilliant stupidity, because I am such a fan and I am in such awe of people who can play stupid. Like, people get really, thank you, Ho. But I have a friend who, she plays a very dumb character. And she was really self-conscious. She goes, Andy says I play a really good stupid character and I don't know how to take that. And I'm like, take it as the utmost compliment. It takes a lot of intelligence and cleverness to play a stupid character funny. Like, you need to know where to interject with the stupidity. And that takes comedic timing and intelligence. So if you're doing it well, then you're a smart person.
Also, the thing I've learned from The Simpsons is the trick to having a stupid character is make them say something smart once.
Sure.
Like,
yeah.
it's not The Simpsons, and it's the only funny joke in Family Guy, where Peter wakes up in a hospital, and he's like, what happened? And the doctor's like, this book should help you, and it's A Farewell to Arms, because, you know, he got his arms amputated. And then, you know, Peter says,
Oh my god.
I fell in love with a nurse during World War I? And, like, that's funny.
It is so frustrating to me that Family Guy can do jokes like that, and then that's not, like, the normal caliber of joke.
Yeah, same.
Like, it just makes me feel like there's one person in the writer's room that I would be really good friends with, and everybody else I'd be really irritated with. Because it feels like there's...
Exactly.
Yeah, and I understand, like, humor can be multifaceted. You can have lots of things. You can have lots of sensibilities, humor sensibilities, but obviously, I mean, and it goes without saying that Family Guy does sort of, or at least it used to, I don't know if it still does, I'm pretty sure it probably does,
Yes, it does.
delve into... I'm not even gonna call it problematic, it's just tasteless. It's just not funny. It's demeaning and weird that you can do, like, fun musical theater stuff, but then also do, like, abuse jokes, and that's just not... And weirdly, that's the thing, I ascribe to the opinion that it is totally okay for someone to like a show like, oh god, King of the Hill is the superior show, and I hate that as a child I was so turned off by the animation. Because it's so, like, it made me think of Beavis and Butthead, and I didn't like Beavis and Butthead. I liked Daria, but Daria had a different style. Daria had a more subdued art style, and for some reason, it just I didn't like how King of the Hill looked, and I really took it at face value thinking it was going to be, like, stupid humor, and King of the Hill's so funny.
It really is.
Thank you for the hydration reminder, Hope.
Oh, I'll do that.
My water is still my water. It has not become paint water, so...
That's good.
We play hydration roulette on this show.
One of my favorite King of the Hill bits is because it's me every single summer. Where Hank says the, you know, eponymous line, if it gets 1 degree hotter, I'm gonna kick your ass. And that's just my entire mood when it gets above 70 degrees.
Bobby is forever my favorite character. Just, I think one of the first episodes I watched was the one where he was getting self-defense class training with the ladies self-defense training.
Purse. I don't know you.
I don't know you. That's my purse.
I quote that.
Yeah, 100%.
So often.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh, my God.
I watch Smosh a lot, and one of the people on the show, Angela, during the Smosh, the try not to laughs and stuff, somebody commented that Angela sounded like Bobby Hill. And she's like, I don't know what that is. And they just play a clip for her, and then she did that. That's my purse! And they're like, Angela, it's not okay how much you sound like him. Oh, so good.
I also quote, oh god, what is it? I need a window seat, because this flower is wilting. Which is also a Bobby line, and oh my god. So
I love
good.
when they went to Japan and then Bobby fell in love with that girl and they played DDR. It was just
Yes!
cute.
Wasn't that the episode where they were like in the living room the entire time thinking it was the entire hotel room?
Yeah. That's a
Yeah.
very Futurama joke too.
Oh god, I love Futurama so much.
I haven't caught up on the new stuff. I'm very behind.
Same. I've not. I know it exists, but I've not watched it.
There's a show that I probably will end up watching at some point, but I just haven't yet. Called Crapopolis.
Interesting.
It's I believe it's a Dan Harmon show, but it stars Richard Ayoade and Laszlo from What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh yeah.
And Rebecca from Ted Lasso. The boss lady.
Sure.
And it's a cartoon sitcom where they are a family of demigods that rule over humanity, and they're just inventing civilization as they go.
Interesting.
And so Richard Ayoade is playing this guy who is trying to come up with cool ideas, and he there's this bit where his brother is named Hippocampus, and he's a fish in a with a fish bowl on his head, and he likes to do experiments on people.
Okay.
And his the Laszlo from What We Do in the Shadows is his dad, who is a chimera. He's Laszlo on the top half. He has lion body underneath and a scorpion tail.
Oh my goodness.
And it's so silly. They even, have you ever seen The Good Place?
Yes, yeah.
They had Janet on as a guest, and she played a Hydra, and they had her in the house as an assistant, and her heads were everywhere, and so they're just like, can you tell my son that I'm not waiting to, I didn't birth him for fun, I do expect him to get married.
Oh my god.
And she's like, certainly. And then they cuts to the son, and he's like, is there any way we could skip my mother's messages without her finding out? Of course. Oh, what have I been doing without this my whole life? And they're and she's like, there's someone at the door. Who is it? I don't know. Let me check. And you just hear, he didn't say. There's now a mob forming at the front of the castle.
I love that.
But you could just tell it was Janet. It was really funny. The other thing that made me laugh was that he thought he was, two of the characters thought realized they were at a party. They never get invited to parties. And they're like, there's people drinking, there's half-naked people canoodling, there's a man playing a lute when no one asked him to, and he goes, and hereth is the wondrous wall.
Oh my god.
And it just made me laugh really hard.
So Soulstone Blue takes way too long to dry. I forgot how long it takes to dry.
Oh no.
So I've done the first coat. I need to let it dry. My super tactical droid is going to be off, reasserting itself until
resetting.
further notice. So I'm going to be working on this, this horror.
Who wants to see a goose?
So, it'll be horror time. Yay!
I'm excited.
Mostly finished. I just need to silver the weapons, or not the weapons, because that's a horn. I need to get the eyes, the teeth, the mouth done. And then it should be
goose. There's a goose.
There is a new magic card. Well, not new. It came out, God, several months ago.
Okay.
At least 6. Called a Goose Hydra.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's called the Goose Mother,
Amazing.
and it's become the bane of my existence.
And why is that?
Because I've been playing a lot of a format called Standard.
Seems like a Goose Hydra wouldn't feel right in Standard.
Think. But my issue is that the Goose Mother is just like a full counter to my deck.
Oh no!
Because it gains the opponent life and draws them cards, and is a big creature that I can't get rid of.
Oh no.
So, like, seeing that card come down is just exhausting. But I love
Some people are just like, ha ha ha, goose. And you're like,
Yeah,
fuck,
exactly.
my entire strategy. Look how good this piece looks. I don't know, this is not me tooting my own horn. This is me just marveling at the sculpt this person did. This is a Furbolg bard in a wheelchair. He's so pretty. Like, it's such a fun design. But yeah, he's got the school logo on his wheels, and he's playing a little flute.
Nice. That's awesome.
But yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It's a really pretty... They just did a really pretty job with him. All of the school figures look really good. They've just done a beautiful job. Alright, I gotta move a bunch of these figures because I am now getting to a point where I need to use the inside of my palette. The top is starting to just make chalky paint covering. Alright, I'm gonna put my figures up here. And I'll pull them down as needed. I'm excited. One of the reasons I really wanted to do this was because I wanted to get excited about painting them. So, yeah. The more of them that were like ready to go, the easier it would be for me to decide which ones I wanted to work on.
Nice.
Professor Doggy. Alright, let's grab a few more of these school figures. Sorry, camera. Oh, I didn't show this off. I got a Leonin character with a battle axe.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah.
Yes, this is a pink horror, specifically a pink horror instrument bearer.
Painting the horrors blue. The horrors blue.
This is a horn. That they like go toot toot. To denote that,
thank you for the clarification. I'm really glad we know what the horn go toot toot.
Oh yeah, happy to help. The horn go toot toot to denote that hell is coming.
Ah, it's important to know that.
Toot toot. Toot toot.
Toot toot, hell is coming.
At least they announced themselves, you know.
Oh, that's right. There's a little owlin. I forgot. I'm so excited about him. Let's see if we can make him. Mm. Some of these figures were not primed as well as I would have wanted because my black spray paint that I was using ended up being a little too textured. Like when you get a matte black and it's not really smooth. So it adds a little, yeah. But for the Owlin, it kind of just makes him look fuzzy, so maybe it's okay. Look at his little guy. He's so cute. I'll have to make his eyeballs. Like, I'll have to make him little slitted pupils. I believe this is a druid with a beautiful, like, moon scythe.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's really striking, too. Oh, it's a little hard to see with the Geiger background I got going on behind me, or the the Geiger, the alien-esque background I've got going. HR Geiger, I say. So I don't know.
The step-by-step guide. For one, it's going to depend on how intricate you really want to get your model. Because really, if you want like the best possible product, you find a professional painter, and step one, which is the one step, is you pay them and send them the model, and then you get it back painted. But assuming you don't do that, the first model, or the first step, is construction, right? Clipping it, clearing the mold lines, gluing it together, all that. The second is to prime it. Now, priming is putting a very, very fine paint on the model. One, so that the paint, that you're going to apply is all even, and it sticks.
Yeah, sticking is a big one, depending on the material your mini is made of.
Yeah.
Good coverage.
And then after you get that done, the next thing is just kind of painting.
And there's techniques to that too, like starting with darker colors, and there's a lot of I watch a lot of tutorials and stuff to get little technique suggestions.
There's a lot you can do with like double priming, where you prime it once with one color and then prime it another with a lighter color from one angle.
Oh, sure.
So that way, like only one side looks lighter, and then it looks like natural light is coming down in a specific direction.
Yeah, that's a cool idea.
I know that's what
this is a dragon born with a soul.
They're big.
Those of you who wanted to see the moon scythe mouse, I know. Here you go. This is the moon scythe figurehead. Pretty, but they have like a plant growth. They look like maybe a humanoid of some kind.
Let that tongue dry.
Yeah, this one got all fucked. Let's see if we can fix this.
But after you get it fully primed, then you just start painting. Usually you want to go with the, like, for this model, I would always start with blue and then get the smaller designs done after. So then you're not painting over the designs, and depending on the paint, depending on the model, you might need to do a few applications of some paints. And then you can dry brush, which adds a step. I don't, because I'm lazy.
Well, and you like painting in a different way. It's just it's whether or not you have the patience or the, honestly, I'm not even gonna, like, if some people just don't have like the hand stillness to do certain types of painting. So for me, it just makes it easier because it's hard for me sometimes to focus on drawing or painting in very small amounts, because my hands inevitably move or tremble, I suppose. You and I were just talking, Colton, about feeling old.
Oh god, yeah.
And that's what happens.
I am quite decrepit in my ancientness.
You're fine.
And then like right now, I'm just retouching some areas of the blue with a finer brush, just to make sure everything is sort of.
I have a little bookcase that I have some pieces that are like set pieces that I'm excited about. So yeah, one of the pieces, I think what happened with the owl and with this like ranger that I had is that the it happened to this guy too. I'm gonna be undoing and repainting a couple of these because it looks like I was priming with the bottom of the can. Like the can was almost out, which is what created more texture than I wanted on the figure. And it's just coming off really easy, so it doesn't look like it actually had a lot of good adhesion to it. So I'm just taking a rough brush and going around the figure to try to take off as much of the shitty paint as I can. And what I'm going to end up doing probably is just giving it a quick coat of a diluted acetone to kind of paint remove. It won't take very long, and it shouldn't completely destroy the acrylic, or not the acrylic, but the 3D
resin
model. It's just
yeah.
They're resin pieces, so they should be okay.
A trick I learned that you can do with resin is if you get simple green, just like the cleaner, and just pour some simple green into a cup and fully submerge the model and leave it for like 12 hours, it will get most of the paint off.
Like it'll just slough off?
Yeah, and if you take just like a toothbrush and just wash it in the simple green, that can definitely help you get the rest of it off.
I might just take some Dawn. It cleans ducks.
Yeah. But I trust simple green because it does not affect plastic or resin models.
Ah, gotcha.
So it's not it doesn't melt things like acetone does.
That's fair. Yeah, I could use Dawn soap. That's what I've got on me. But there's a little fighter. She's fun.
What color should I paint the eyes, chat?
Oh, that's right. I've got tabaxis to paint. It took me so long to find cat people.
Really?
Like, I hadn't really been looking. I just didn't have any. And eventually I found a whole bunch of them, and they're so cute and fun and mischievous. I've got this guy who's got a saber on him. He's holding a...
Since we were talking about it earlier, I've had a Bobby Hill compilation playing in the background.
Amazing. Please do.
And it got to my third favorite, which is from the same episode as the this flower's a wilton thing, where it's like, I must give room service a jangle and get some of that etouffee. It's just so stupid.
Oh my god.
I love it.
Yes, Hope cat people. Here's a swashbuckler for you. Got a little saber. It's a saber-toothed cat.
But fake Southern gentleman Bobby Hill is the voice I plan on giving a character that I'm hoping to play pretty soon. So I'm very excited.
Okay, so you gotta get like really raspy and southern
No, I
And,
mean,
and then you put on the gentleman caller sort of voice.
There we go. It's sort of low like this, you know.
Oh, so it's you do the raspy like you're Bobby Hill, and then you gotta go low like you're pretended like you have a low. There's a lot of layers there.
Yeah, I like onions, you know. Stupid. But the character, I think I might have talked about this a little bit. It would be a character for a sigil game. Sigil.
Sigil. It's sigil.
Sigil.
A sigil
game.
is a symbol. A sigil is a city.
Yes. And he is a lawyer. He's a governor. Which is a specific term.
I'm just a poor planescape leaping lawyer.
Yeah.
They fun very
oh god, what are they called? Plasmoid? He's a plasmoid.
Oh, that's right. I'm just a poor non-Euclidean lawyer.
And I want to play him so badly. And I've been watching Suits.
Oh geez. Okay.
To train on what not to do.
Okay.
To be
wow, shots fired at Suits.
Oh no, I love Suits, but my god, if those people existed in the real world, they would be disbarred.
Oh yeah. It's the kind of show that Andy would be thrown into a blind rage about.
Is he a lawyer?
He's a prosecutor.
Oh, okay.
And he doesn't like watching Law and Order because that's not how it works.
Oh, yeah. I mean...
Things are not nearly that dramatic. You always tell people your evidence.
Yeah, that's...
There's no surprise evidence that wouldn't get admitted.
How does he feel about My Cousin Vinny?
They show My Cousin Vinny for evidence classes in law school.
I love that.
Like, that is apparently a really, really good example of how to do the procedures of evidence in trial. So apparently it's pretty good.
I love that movie so much.
At least from an attorney standpoint, like attorney reacts to how realistic is this? Nope, my camera is no more again. I really got to figure out how to fix this. I think I just need... The problem is just that the camera is, like I said, it's not connected to my computer. Hold on. Let me see how much cable I actually have. I just didn't want it to be running behind me and then having to, having to redo it having to make sure I'm not rolling back in my chair because I'll knock it over. I didn't want that to be an issue. But if that's gonna be an issue, let's see if I can get it to behave for a longer period of time. Okay. Let's see if it turns off now. Now that it's directly connected to my computer. Alright. Let's try... I will say that liquid green stuff really helped with my troll.
That's really good to hear.
Look how scarified his back looks. Instead of there being a circle.
Oh, that looks so cool.
It came out really good. The trick I found was do more than you think you need. And be careful, and because if you try to smooth it too much, it ends up going back into the crevice that you're trying to cover. So make sure you have a lot of extra liquid green stuff on the spot, and then just kind of goop it around the edges of the spot you're trying to distract from. That allowed it to turn into kind of this overly scarred, lumpy texture, which worked really well at hiding most of the paint job, or most of that material. rather the evidence of what the material was. That it was a piece of metal. There is still a piece inside this. I don't know how to fix it. There's like a piece of plastic inside the figure. He's just he ate somebody's rattle, and he makes noise when he moves around. Is how I'll have to justify. This guy's gonna look infinitely better than the original paint job that he came with. This came from a set of like official D&D figures that had a bunch of the heroes from the PHB in them. And I'm just repainting all of them because they were kind of like messily enamel painted over.
Oh, I hate that.
Or they're that, and they also had some of the metal was of a certain paint color. Like the metal itself was painted, which didn't look great.
Okay, so chat, I've finished this guy.
Yeah.
He just needed a few little details finished. So now I'm working on this blue horror.
Which is pink.
Yep.
Sorry, I know I keep pointing that out, but it amuses me
fine.
so.
It amuses me too. Oh wait, no, I'm not finished with this guy. Oops. Hold
No,
on.
no.
I forgot this guy has fingernails that I need to paint. Oopsie doopsie.
What's cool about these fantasy characters, or these fantasy school characters that I have, is that they came in a set that was the figures, and then also pre-built stat blocks for them, or pre-built character sheets.
Oh, okay. That's
so cool. I can use these for like a one-shot or something. Like it had an adventure with them, but it's cool that they're like pre-built 4th or 5th level characters.
Nice. I wish the Strixhaven module for 5e was good.
Yeah. There's things in it that I really enjoyed, like pulling.
Oh, yeah. Me too. It's just not. Like, the
not as good as you wanted.
So terrible.
The what was terrible?
The adventure.
Ah. Well, that's a shame.
Yeah, and like, what's weird is the other Magic books that are Magic the Gathering in D&D 5e aren't adventures. They're just source books for the plane.
Huh.
But for some reason, Wizards decided to make this an adventure, and they had no idea how to do that.
Not anymore.
They didn't know how to like make a school setting fun.
Despite there being like an entire children's series that was famous for exactly that reason.
Yeah. And like the setting is so brilliant. I'm just so disappointed.
Yeah. That's the point at which you just go, okay, everybody else, you do your magic, literally.
Yeah, exactly.
And just make it fun.
Also, in the magic lore, one of the characters from the Strixhaven set became a planeswalker, and I was so happy to see him. His name is Quintorius, and he's an elephant, and I love him.
Loxodons are so good.
Yeah, he's a historian.
Delightful.
And his like main power is channeling the spirits of dead people into statues of themselves to like talk to them.
That's awesome.
He's so good. I love my little guy.
I made a Loxodon that became very beloved in the Shenanigans era. named Admiral Tusktooth, I think his name was. We had the chat name him.
Nice.
And he just had a very harumph sort of attitude, which I enjoyed playing very much. And they just every time one of the PCs like took him on as like a mentor / father figure. And the day that PC called him dad for the first time, I did what became really sort of iconic for the character, where he got all verklempt. He was like, oh, I just wanna hold on. Just gotta feel my feelings. Just hold on.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
Oh, and let me get you a photo of this guy that I finished.
Oh, so here's my dude from Tangled.
Nice.
He
I'm
is going to be
excited
a stupid hill giant. Or a little dummy hill giant who looks very lost. Taking a break from doing these for a moment. Out of curiosity, I bought this primer that is technically for airbrushing, but it's a pretty good primer. It's very dark. The whole thing was I wanted a really dark primer.
Sure.
And it works out really well for that.
I just
So
got a
I'm
report
gonna-
that I'm supposed to get 5 inches of snow tonight.
Woohoo.
Haha. It's gonna be great.
Stay
By
warm.
great, I mean terrible.
Stay warm, bud.
Oh, I mean, yeah, it's gonna be 25 degrees, which is like,
Oh god, I have people that are like, what negative are you at right now?
oh yeah,
They're like,
no,
it
I
feels
was
negative 20 right now.
I was at negative 40 4 days ago with wind chill. So
God.
yeah.
Well,
Hee hee.
You could make your own videos and pretend and like tell people you're in Antarctica. Or they just
my issue
throw
is that
throw a cup of hot tea and it just sublimates into a gas.
Oh yeah, damn it. I always wanted to do that.
Well,
I
if
never
it gets
have.
cold again, try it.
Yeah, I don't think it's supposed to get cold like that again this year here. And then next year, of course, I'll forget.
Here, I'll just start sending you Antarctica videos, and that'll just be my love language. I'll just send you Antarctica videos and be like, look, Colton, we're friends. Here's another Antarctica video, and then that'll help cement the reality of it in your head. Look, I'm thinking long term.
I try not to think of I try not to think any further than like a day in advance.
Well, that's nice.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's caused me so many problems.
I wish I could think more in advance, and I just can't. It's hard. Why, my room is covered in journals, but they're unused. I'm so hopeful, but...
Same. Everyone like knows I'm a writer,
Oh,
so
yeah.
they always get me journals for gifts. And
Stop
like,
giving me
"Oh,
journals."
Thank you. And then they
Put it in the
just
drawer.
don't sit in it. Yeah, because I'm like, I do my best writing on sheets of paper that I've stolen that already has stuff on it. That's where I
Yeah,
thrive.
I used to work at Target, and I used to draw all over extra receipt paper. Or I used to write all over extra receipt paper.
Ooh, I like that.
And then I had a nice notebook, and then I wouldn't fucking use it.
yeah,
So I had all
like
of
this-
these notebooks that I had to copy onto paper.
somewhere. I have this gorgeous one that's like hand embossed with my name on it
Aw.
that I got from a wonderful, wonderful group that I worked with in 2020, and I like it's to this day one of my favorite gifts ever. But it just sits on my bookshelf unused.
Mhm.
I'm like, those are my exact inner thoughts, inner
Mhm.
noises, I guess. Actually, just constantly, but also about that specifically.
I have a Tina Belcher voice in my head every so often.
Nice. Yeah, my train of thought is Tina Belcher learning to drive in the
Oh my god, yes.
empty parking
Yes.
lot with only
Tina,
one other car.
Tina, you're going forward. Tina, you just have to turn. Tina, it's not moving.
Tina and Bob are my two brain cells
Oh my
in that
God.
moment.
I am just going over all of the figures that I need to work on. Oh, fun story. Another fun story from the Mean Girls movie. Not the movie itself, but the trailers. There were two.
Like, heavily suggest it wasn't a musical.
Oh yeah, the trailers for the Mean Girls movie, yeah, they just actively avoided calling it a musical. They put a music note in the A for Mean Girls, and that was supposed to tell you.
I love that.
So, what I'm saying is the trailers when we went to sit down at the theater, there were two distinctly different, separate genre films mentioned in the trailers that were based off of imaginary friends. Like, there was a, like, childhood coming-of-age story that apparently, John Krasinski directed that stars Ryan Reynolds and a bunch of people as, like, it looked like a slightly more saccharine version of Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends.
Sure.
And then there was a fucking horror movie
Oh.
called Imaginary that was about an imaginary friend. And I'm like, what? What? This reeks of, like, Pixar Disney creep. Or, like, Pixar DreamWorks creep, where they, like, work on the same movie. But, like, I don't understand. Maybe it's just a coincidence, but also, like, you choose to put them both in the theater. Like, in the same movie. And then after that, it was a fucking Bob Marley biopic with the most intense goddamn music. But, like, yeah, it was a Bob Marley biopic, which, you know, looks good. It's just, really intense music that involved, like, you know, all the really traumatic stuff that happened in his life.
Right.
But I was so blown away by the fact of the two distinct, I keep wanting to say ventriloquism, the two distinct imaginary friend movies.
Yeah, that's fascinating to me.
Yeah.
Apparently, I guess Imaginary Friends must have polled really well a year and a half ago.
It's trending.
Yes, yeah.
Were there a lot of TikToks about imaginary friends a year and a half ago?
Oh god, I don't know.
Somebody decided to buy the rights to the concept.
Okay, so I try and stay far away from book talk, just in general.
Sure, I don't engage in the discourse or anything, but, like, I read books, and occasionally I haven't heard of any drama. So if you want to share, feel free.
Recently, someone tried to copyright The Sun.
Like S-U-N, as in the star in the sky?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. How'd that go for them, I wonder?
I think anyone with a singular brain cell can pretty much figure out how it went.
So, like, this person's like, so the sun is in my book. So you can't
and I
talk
see
about
that you're
the sun.
also, well, it's more like my character has, like, the powers of the sun. I see your character also has the powers of the sun. I'm suing you.
Let's go sue Birdman then, if we're gonna be thorough about it.
Right? Oh god. Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law, is to this day one of my favorite animated television shows ever.
Yeah, it's so stupid. I mean, honestly, I'm really into the Venture Brothers.
Oh,
that's the kind. That's like, you want to meet a real fan, meet someone who, like, waited patiently for Venture Brothers.
I
haven't seen the final thing, the movie.
I have opinions about it, and I don't know what they are.
You feel ways, but you're not sure how to parse those feelings?
Yeah.
Gotcha. I mean, it's the end of an era. I mean, I felt feelings that I'm still kind of parsing through about the Clone High finale, like the Clone High reboot. Because I fucking loved that show as a kid. I had the DVDs. I had to buy the DVDs from Canada, and you couldn't skip the previews at the front.
Oh my god, I love
You had to watch them. It literally, like, disabled the ability to skip them. I was like, okay, I gotta wait 7 minutes before I can watch the show. But then HBO came out, and then it's like, you know, they're trying to be, let's say, less problematic. And it's the people that do, I mean, Miller and Lord are fucking amazing. Like, they went on to do the Lego movie, and then they did Into the Spider-Verse movies. Like, they're amazing directors. I really like them.
Yeah.
And so it was cool that they like decided to go back and be like, okay, we're gonna have like actual actors of color play the characters of color. Even if people are attached to the voices, it's like, no, it's a little more important that we have a woman of like Egyptian origin play Cleopatra, or like, you know, someone of color play Cleopatra instead of the janitor, instead of Cox's wife from Scrubs.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it turns out, there is something bad that happens to the Kennedys, and it was that second season of Clone High.
I didn't mind it. It had its moments, but like for some reason it felt like they were really leaning on like the blood shock jokes. And I was like, I don't remember the original. I mean, the original series had a lot of that, but like it really felt like they were super leaning on it this season. And I'm not sure if it was just that I didn't remember, or if it was the fact that Andy, having worked in, Andy has discovered that he has a bit of a sensitivity to, like, watching injuries happen to people.
Oh, sure.
Which makes action movies a little hard to watch, but also makes things like Clone High hard to watch. As he has developed this because he started working on, like, vehicular crimes.
Yeah,
He's like, I've seen too many evidence photos to find this funny. So I'm not sure which version, like, why I felt like Clone High was notably bothersome. Like, Andy literally had to close his eyes sometimes.
Yeah. My favorite thing, and it's kind of sad, but my favorite thing, someone on Twitter was, like, you know, talking about how they very much did not like the second season.
Uh-huh.
And one of the writers responded with, "Look, we tried." And it was just that.
Yeah,
it was
like,
a tweet, and
you're allowed to have your opinions, it's fine. But, you know, it exists. Honestly, it exists. That's more than I can say for a lot of the projects most people try to do. And I give them a lot of credit for...
Oh, yeah.
There were things they tried to do, and I appreciate it. Like, I actually really enjoyed Frida Kahlo as a character. She was just, like, cool. That was her whole point. They're just like, yeah, Frida's awesome. And I did enjoy the whole plot about thinking they killed a guy. And
yes.
Her and Harriet Tubman thinking that they had killed a guy over the summer. They're like, it's our secret. Because, you know, that's how best friends form. You know, you do horrible, inconceivable things, and you keep it a secret forever. That's how you make best friends.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm happy it exists. I don't think I'm ever going to watch it again. Yeah.
It ended in a way that I was like, damn it, you can't just end everything on a fucking cliffhanger.
Yeah.
I am sad, though, that Our Flag Means Death got canceled.
Oh, yeah.
It was supposed to be 3 seasons. Like, they had an ending. There is a big push, though. I am vaguely optimistic about... There was like a... a petition, and like 50,000 people signed it.
Nice.
I'm thinking there's a chance.
I'm almost kind of happy
it
got canceled, because
I haven't finished the second season, but yeah, I'm on it. But like, did it... Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
The way it ended was great, and I think it's going to, if it just ends there, it's going to be the happiest the characters will be, because if there's a third season, I have read the history books.
Yeah.
Things don't go well.
Steed doesn't end up happily married to Blackbeard? Can't imagine.
Yeah, and like, I like to imagine that, you know, everything is fine. And without a third season, nothing can dissuade me from it.
And nothing can go wrong.
Yeah. Like,
oh, no.
this is a joke, I very much would like to see a third season. But it's just
Sure.
like, oh well, maybe not, maybe happy ending, maybe.
Mm-hmm. What was I gonna say? Oh, fuck, I keep forgetting what I was gonna say. Oh, I have a fun D&D story from this week.
Ooh, do tell.
So my pirate campaign, Carnival Cruise, is we had a fun like roll of the dice sort of situation happen that very much ended an entire plot line I had. In like the best way. I was very pleased about it. So I think I've talked about the fact that one of my characters has one of my PCs has ruidium poisoning.
Yes.
Which is something from the Call of the Netherdeep. And so he's had that, and I fully intended, like I had a whole plan. I was like, all right, well, they have to go to this island. He's a dragon monk. He's a Soul of the Dragon monk or something. And so they're going to this island full of dragon corpses, and there's going to be like this cult of the dragon that's there, and they're going to get to interact with them, and they're going to help him sort of like burn away the poisoning, the curse that he's dealing with. And it was going to be this whole thing. And the players started brainstorming on how they wanted to deal with this issue, like how they wanted to try to help. And so one of my players, she's a warlock, and she goes to her patron and tries to make a deal. Like, hey, I want to go to this collector's grotto where there's a bunch of magic items, and I think there's a ring of mind shielding there, so I'd like to take a look and see if I can find it. And she goes, sure, you can do that, but like I'm not in charge of this place. The Court of Summer is, so I'm gonna have to make a deal with them. And deals in the courts are usually deals of favors, so you might have to go temporarily work for another fae for a little while, just to just to pay the debt.
Sure.
And she's like, okay, fine, a little nervous, but willing to do it. And then she tells her party members, like, hey, so I made this deal. And they're all understandably a little upset or a little cautious about what that could mean. Like, what are they going to make you do? It's like, I don't know. Okay. And then our cleric goes to bed that night just so upset. Like, people keep having to, like, sacrifice things in order to fix stuff. And it's really upsetting me. And she tells me I would like to try and cast Divine Intervention.
Oh.
They're level 13.
Oh, so God, that's what, a 1 in 100 chance?
She has to roll a 12 or under. She rolls
yeah.
Fucking 8.
Nice.
And I'd never had a player do intervention.
Same.
I've only ever had someone get Divine Intervention when they were level 20. And like it automatically works,
Right.
And so this guy gets completely cured of his curse. And I'm like, okay, I just want you to understand that the only two ways to cure your ruidium poisoning were a wish spell or a successful Divine Intervention, and you got one of them. And they're like, wait, it's done? And I'm like, yeah, bitch, you fucking solved my curse puzzle. And they were it ended on such a cool high note then, because I gave the monk a dream sequence where he was hearing this very intimidating voice that was telling him all of his worst fears and like telling him they were gonna come true. Like, everyone's gonna die because of you, and you're gonna burn the ship down and all this other stuff. And then you just hear a voice shout silence, and that's the name of the tiefling. But she's also telling that voice to shut up. And he worships like a dragon mother goddess. And so the dragon mother goddess tells him, like, you're my chosen child and you have such great things ahead of you. I will not let this thing take you. And so they just have this like cute little conversation. And what we were able to do was leave the session with the monk cured of his ruidium poisoning, but still having the motivation to go to the place that would have been the place he'd find a cure. or like would search for a
Nice.
cure. And so it ended up just being like the best of both worlds. Like, my players love the drama. Like, they love drama and like angst. And I do too to some degree, but I don't know why it is, but like when you have 7 people that most of them like drama and angst, like you just want a break. You want to give them a moment of respite. So I'm glad that it worked out that way, because not only that, but like their agency is what solved it. Like, it was a kick-ass dice roll, fucking MVP moment. It was so good. And yeah, and I've said this to you before. I am a fan of my players' characters. I want them to succeed, and when that kind of shit happens, that's so exciting. Even though like I was prepared to, like, I had some things come up with, but I'm a very like by the seat of my pants DM. So like I was gonna come up with something, but like I didn't have everything planned out. Now I just get to kind of play around with the origin of the ruidium poisoning without having to worry about constantly threatening my PC's life with it. Like, he doesn't have to grow red crystals all the time, or more importantly, I don't have to constantly be shoving his worst fears in his face all the fucking time.
Right.
He gets to be happy a little bit, because he was literally like incapable of being happy for a little while.
We love to see someone get just a little treat of happiness.
Yeah.
Just
all right.
Not
so,
too much.
So how you feeling about your little guy?
This little guy still needs more time to finish drying.
Needs a nap?
Before I do a coat.
Sorry, he doesn't need a nap. He needs a reboot sequence.
Yes. I finished my pink and blue horrors. I finished the detailing
love it.
on them.
Awesome.
So yeah,
it's great.
I'm
I have
at this moment out of models to do.
Oh, I am not, but I have dry brushed an entire collection so far.
Hell yeah!
I'm very, very happy. I'm gonna try to fix up a few more, but like I've got a huge. What I'm gonna do at the end of this is I'll take a picture of my shelf right now, so you can see all the pieces that I'm like that are waiting in the wings to be painted. But I'm very excited. The big ones that I was really happy with was I got to do the priming on the bottom of the bases for the ones that I had.
Oh, yes.
I had done. And I got the teeth done on the worm.
Cute.
They're like purple and yellow. Like I kind of covered them in, after I did white, I did them in a wash of those two. And then my little, my Valkyrie has her nice little rocky perch. So yeah, so they're coming out really good and I'm really happy with them. My Beholder as well has a nice big base. I wanted him to feel substantial, so giving him a bigger base was a way to do that.
Nice.
Alright, so let's wrap up there. I didn't drink my paint water because I didn't make any paint water today.
Hell yeah.
Alright, everybody. Well, I hope you guys had a wonderful stream. We did.
We certainly did.
And we'll see you all very soon. Please, if you like what you watched and you want to support us, please take a look at Patreon, patreon.com/nerdsmith, with a link in the chat. Wait, I saw something. I missed something. Y'all should do like a year-end showcase with all the minis we did. Yeah, we should.
Oh, that would be.
We'll do like a little show and tell, or maybe like a little video or something we can do.
Yes.
Where we take footage of all of the figures that we've done. That would be fun. Good call, Hope. Alrighty, everybody. Finally, be sure to check out our sponsors. Grinding Coffee for coffee and coffee subscriptions. World Anvil for all of your world building and campaign management needs. I know Charles is working on some tonight. We've got Hero Forge. Today is Tuesday, which means it is Treasure Tuesday. I had it at the opening, but the Treasure Tuesday assets for tonight were swashbuckler armor and some cool like pieces. So if you want something that's kind of like jaunty looking, there were a lot of pieces of armor and clothing that they just put out for your swashbucklers. Then finally, we are also sponsored by Die Hard Dice. As always, you can use Nerdsmith as a coupon code for most of these, but check out the links and what we put in chat, and you can help by just letting them know we sent you. because we love you and we want to give you good deals with the people that
Very
we
much so.
are excited to be working with. Let's see. Earlier tonight, we had Alora hosting a movie night in the Discord server. They were watching Ready Player One. I think we only have one more movie night coming up on the 27th. They're going to be watching the 1982 Blade Runner, which I still have to check with Alora about what version.
I was just about to ask.
I'll ask. Let's see. January 19th, which is Friday, the Dragon's Crown episode 39 will be going. That is Franz's Tyranny of Dragons supplement campaign. On Monday, we got more Nerdsmith Pixel, and then we're back on Tuesday with more painting.
Should be fun.
I'm hoping to have most of the dry brushing done before the episode so that I can just be painting stuff. But I got like another 40 pieces to paint. Because that's what happens when you collect minis and then don't paint them for years and years.
Yes.
But I will say I am very, very pleased that we've done this show because, one, it gets me to sit down and actually work on these, and two, I get to hang out with you, Colton.
Yeah, I'm very glad to hang out with you and do this as well.
Yeah.
I'm going to. There's a chance that I'll finish this guy before next week.
Okay.
And if I do, I'll make sure to show him off.
Yeah, do it
next week. But if not, I'm going to be painting this guy, and I'm going to also be painting a flamer, one of the models that I made last week.
Right. Yeah.
So I'll be starting to do those guys because I'm only like 16 models away from having a fully completed army.
Oh shit.
So I'm very excited for
That's
that.
very exciting.
And yeah, no, it's gonna be fun. So yeah.
All
thank
right.
you all
Well,
so
so
much.
here is you can check out Colton's stuff in the chat. He now has a command if you want to find out more about Colton. And I am also at !Angela. You can find out stuff. I am on Twitter, but I also do professional DMing. So if you would like to hire me for your next roleplay session or campaign or one shot or whatever, anniversaries, birthdays, I do all those. But if you want to, you can check me out at startplaying.games. That's where you can hire me out. It's awesome. I've had a lot of really fun RPG experiences working for people. I've done like families and groups of friends that want to play. It is from my brain to yours.
Nice.
All right, everybody have a wonderful rest of your night. Have a great rest of your week. We'll see you next Tuesday. Bring your crafts and such. And I don't remember the first part, but I do remember that we would like you, please, to paint from the heart. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.